Welcome, everyone, to Vision Untethered Conversations with Inspirational Visionary Leaders. My name is Jill, founder of Savvy Strategic Partners. We turn overwhelmed founders into empowered leaders by building businesses that scale. We are a dedicated leadership team of fractional executives, executing vision, increasing businesses' value, and helping founders realize freedom. Today, I am so honored to spotlight and have on our podcast today Jennifer Fox. She is founder and CEO and managing broker of Fox Property Management. They are a Colorado based real estate and property management firm. Since launching the company in 2002, Jennifer has built a business rooted in personalization, teamwork, and genuine relationships. They treat owners, tenants, and properties like family. Sounds like you're our people, Jen. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah,
Excited to
thank you
have
for
you.
having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. We really like to start with why and purpose, as it translates to not only just who you are and your passion, but why it is that you do what you do at Fox Property Management.
I find it interesting because I think that we could be doing so many different things in our lives, right? It's how we go, how we enter into whatever that thing is, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to be a property manager happened 20, well, gosh, 20 plus years ago. And that
Yep.
opportunity fell in my lap. What I chose to do with it was the part that sort of evolves over time, right? And the why behind that is that whatever I'm going to do or however I'm going to engage in whatever it is that inspires me, it's got to come from a place of connection, relationship, values based. It's got to matter the people, the way we're interacting, how we're
Mm-hmm.
being and doing what we do matters. So if we were selling widgets or we were managing property, it needs to come from a place where we feel good about what we do every day and we love the
Mm-hmm.
connections that we're making and that the way we're doing it is people forward and that we're thinking about people in every interaction. And so I think the why for me in property management, in particular with Fox Property Management at this point, is that we've created an amazing team doing work in an industry that's challenging,
Yeah.
partnering with people in a way that could create peace of mind and a partnership feeling where they feel like they have a connection with the people managing their asset in a way that helps them go live the life they want to live. I think we're all experts in different areas. And so the why for me is can we be the expert in this area, create a sense of confidence in our clients that we've got them, that we are partnered
Mm-hmm.
with them, that we're thinking about them, and then have a company that engages in a way together that helps like be who we are inside out in the world, right? Is that the way that we
Mm-hmm.
connect with each other around our accountability, around our commitment to doing a great job comes out and benefits the people we're working with. So I think my why is just operating in a values-based way in the world,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever interaction we're having so that we make a difference for our clients.
Yeah, for sure. Just humanizing, continuing to
Right.
humanize what it is what you do because yeah, there's so much trust involved with what you do too. That I think a lot of times people can monetize from automations and hands-off touch, more hands-off. So keeping that embedded relational trust building in what it is you do is probably speaks a lot to its success and the types of people your owners, tenants that you work with.
Yeah, and who we choose to be in every situation because property management's it's difficult. We're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people in the public and they have so much of their own internal and external forces that are impacting what's happening for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in every communication we're having, we have to be thinking about the humans we're interacting with. And we believe that we are best serving our clients by really being kind and thoughtful and looking for solutions and accountable through all of those issues so that at the end,
Yeah.
everybody feels like they were heard, they were considered, that people were considered through the process, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it is one of the challenging, people hire us and we're dealing with their finances and collecting rent and all the basics every day showing the property. But what they're really hiring for us for is the insurance that there's someone to take care of the big stuff,
Yep.
when the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom floods, when
Right.
these big things. And so then who are we going to be in
Mm-hmm.
that moment that is
Right.
different than most property management companies. How are we going to interact with the tenant, the vendor, and the client in a way that is, sets us apart? That's
Absolutely.
and makes the experience more personal, kind,
Hmm.
and basically finding a way forward towards resolution.
Absolutely. Yeah, hospitality. It's all that
Yeah,
experience and concierge and being a yeah, go-to trusted partner when not only when just the minutia of what drains that whole, property ownership and real estate in general, but the things that catch us off guard
yeah,
even more so. Like what's going to happen when, yeah,
yeah,
crap
yeah,
hits the fan and, yeah, dealing with
yeah,
the urgent things. Yeah.
yeah.
Can you share with us an experience where you felt trapped by your business at Fox Property Management and what strategies you implemented to create space for growth and scalability?
Oh, that's interesting. Trapped. I
Tethered,
think, yeah,
trapped.
tethered. Yeah, like caught
Yeah,
up and like what's next and how are we moving forward, right? So,
right.
yeah, okay. I hear what you're saying. So, I think we've evolved and we've grown and sort of like we add this person and we realize we need this and we grow by another 100 properties and add this. And so we've sort of, added and added people and
Hmm.
our structure has sort of grown and, you know, learning along the way. And I think that there's been a lot of changes to landlord tenant legislation and policy in the state of Colorado.
Hmm.
And I think there was a moment when that started really impacting the industry that I realized we needed to be next level. We needed to figure out how we were going to help our clients navigate this. Not in a
Hmm.
negative way of we're all victims of this, but in how are we going to navigate this in a way where it's okay, And I
Hmm.
think there was a
Hmm.
moment where it was like, wow, we're going to need to reset, who it is we say we are, who we say we are, how we're going to interact in this moment, how we're going to support our clients. And it really started this process of really evaluating. I think you got to start at sort of the core of who you are, right? Evaluating our values as a company, evaluating our processes, procedures, the positions we were going to hold, how we were going to structure from an accountability perspective so that we're best serving our clients. So, a lot
Yep.
of commitment to
Yeah.
looking at who we are as a company and how are we going to best serve our clients. Because with the changes that are happening, it's a wonderful thing to own property. That's I mean, it's an American dream. You own not your property, but not just your property, but other property. And not only that, you're a steward of housing. You are providing
Hmm.
a place for someone to live where they're raising their family, they're living their lives, they're entertaining their friends, right? So how do we have that still be something where investors feel good about that? And they feel like
Yeah.
they can do that and continue to contribute to that part of our economy in a way where they're
Hmm.
not the victims of everything coming at them. And so I think that moment where we're like, wow, okay, there's a lot of changes. And some of the changes we were already implementing were really easy to change for us because they
Hmm.
weren't much of a change. But I think it really had us reassess who are we going to be in this moment? Are we just a property management company? Are we just responding to things and then whatever happens, happens and we're just reacting? Or are we going to be a company that starts setting up a structure of who we are and how we're
Hmm.
going to walk through the world in a way that really supports our clients so that they're supported and allows us to grow because the company wants to continue to grow. We believe that the way that we work is is a great way to do property management. So we want to continue to be a sought out company in Colorado. And so I
Yeah.
think that's the moment was when we're like, wow, this is going to get out of control. We need to be
Right.
leaders. We need to be
Hmm.
thought leaders and we need to be policy leaders and we need to be process leaders in this industry to
Yes.
support our clients. And I think that was the
Yeah.
moment that had us shift what we were doing internally and is continuing to drive all of our
Yep.
decisions.
Oh, wow. It's it speaks a lot to the importance of if you've heard of the concept from like play bigger and category and creating the game, right? You're not playing by the rules of an existing game to survive, but knowing there's all these external factors in the industry, policies, legalities that change, and all of those external forces impact the industry as a whole. But you see that as an opportunity to create a new game. right? The
Mhm.
rules are changing, the playbook is changing. So how do we kind of create how property owners and those that we're serving and clients can play that game, not beholden to,
Yeah.
all the rules and the things that are going to hold it back. So
I love
that's
sports analogies. So I love the game piece.
nice. Yep.
But yeah, I believe that, right? If you are in a game and the elements of the game are changing and you're not able to adapt and you're
Hmm.
not looking at how you're going to shift how you're playing and you're not making
Right.
adjustments to your lineup or to the way you're playing, you're not you're not playing the game.
Right.
You're the victim of what's happening to you. You know what I mean? And so I think there
Hmm.
is a lot there. It's like, you really, and again, there's more to that than just us, right? If all we cared about was our experience, we might
Right.
just try to like, let's just sit in the background, let's see what happens. But if what we're committed to is being leaders in this industry and being, um,
Hmm.
you know, basically guides to our clients, then we've got to
Yes.
step up in a different way. And we need to not see it as that we are somehow the victim of what's happening. Instead, okay, here's what's
Hmm.
happening. How are we going to approach it? How are we going to go forward? And instill
Yeah.
confidence that we've got a plan,
Yeah. You're
for whatever.
anticipating what that's going to look like ahead of time
Yeah,
before a client, a property owner, someone interested in property ownership even thinks to ask the question or thinks about
right.
what could be anticipated in the outcomes. So yeah, I love sports analogies as well, and the more in business ownership and working several years with entrepreneurial business owners in creating the game and anticipating and not being victims of the environment, the economy. If we have to hear one more time, like, well, we're in an economic
Yeah.
downturn, and this we're just victims of this economic downturn. One more time, it's like that mindset shift of how you can own and create and adapt to grow out of why we're
Mhm.
in economic downturn is how we get out of it. But the
Mhm.
sports metaphors and all of this that it makes me think of is like even in the games of sports, right? And I didn't have a huge competitive sport background, but our kids do. Like all three of our children are competitive athletes, and two of which in soccer. And even from their early years to where they are competing now at a national level, like playing across the country. Um, Even in just the 10 or so years of witnessing the sport itself and how it's evolved nationally, internationally as
Mhm.
well, is like sports and the game evolve too, and the tactics, the playbooks, what works, the EQ, the IQ in sports is not the same as it was 100 years ago. And so the same is true in business, right? And so the top athletes and coaches are creating, evolving the game, innovating how the game is played. Like an athlete, like top performing, best of the best, Hall of Fame athletes, could they even, now it's like there's several that you're like, I don't even think they would be good today. Like it's such an evolution. Not all of them. And I'm not discrediting like what made them all great, but the more I've seen that too, just when working with businesses, it is a game. Like it is this game we are playing, regardless of the industry, regardless of the external factors. It is like how you put your best people, your best repeatable system to win.
That's right. And it's funny because in property management, there was a time where we were printing leases and meeting people to sign them in person. That was not that long
Yeah,
ago. And then
right.
technology comes out and it changes the way you work, right?
Yep.
And the amount of technology we use now to do our jobs well, to be found, for process is evolved. And so who we are as property managers 15 years ago, 20
Yes,
years ago is different than who we can be now. And it's funny because
exactly.
soccer is my sport and I can relate to that. I played
Mm,
at a really high level and I am still playing.
mm,
And I agree with you. I played college soccer at a time where the college soccer experience was different than what college players are experiencing now. But
right,
from the way that we trained and what the expectations were and all these different things, it was still high. It was as high level as it could be in that moment, but we didn't even know what we didn't know yet. We didn't
right.
even have all of those things. And I agree with you. I think the grit is still there, right? The grit
Hmm.
might be there, but the sport evolves and the technology evolves and the expectations
Hmm.
evolve. As parents, you were not expected to travel all over the country. That was very unusual 30 years ago.
Right. Right.
Now, if you're playing at
It's
that
the
level,
norm.
it is the norm. Get on the train because that's what you're doing.
Yep.
And it's also wonderful, right? But it has
Yeah.
evolved. And so these players get much more exposure. Their maturity when they come in at college level is so much higher because of the level of play they've been able to do. And I think that is the same thing in business. It's just like what you say. And we evolve as
Yes.
property managers. And if we don't continue to look at what's the right technology, what's happening out there, we meet with other property management owners. I have lunch with CEOs of other property management companies just to talk about
Hmm.
best practices. What are you doing? What are you seeing? How can we
Right.
continue to be good, all of us, at what we do? And um,
Absolutely.
and so yeah, the evolution is important. You're either going to sit back and wait for things to happen to you, or you're going to get
Right.
out there and be part of how the change is shifting.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, so well said. We'll have to connect too on your soccer experience because yeah, the are older too in that realm. I'd love to exchange just notes and learn more about
Yeah,
your soccer journey at
I
some
love
point
that.
too. Yeah. What are some common psychological barriers, or maybe even psychological operational barriers that you faced that maybe prevented over the years of business ownership, prevent you from stepping back, from looking out and not in? And how have you identified what those barriers to doing that are?
Okay, so I think what I hear you're saying is like what were the barriers for me that might have kept me from being able to step back and get perspective on business or not be
Yeah.
working just in it, but working on it?
Yeah.
Is that
Right.
what you're
Both.
saying? Both of
Yeah.
those?
Any barriers that have prevented you. Yeah. Whether it was like psychological or just operationally being
Hmm.
tethered to keep you from, being truly in visionary role.
Yeah. Well, so what's really interesting is that I've been evolving into my visionary role. I
Mm-hmm.
was so operational for a very long time. It's been
Yep.
when I started this business, I was doing it myself. I'm a big believer in partnership. When my partner came on, it transformed what I was able to do
Yeah.
because I don't believe we do anything alone. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to put me on a tennis court, I'd like to play doubles, right? I mean, I'm a team person. And so teamwork and having the right people around me has given me so much of um, the foundation to be able to step back, step away, be able to see because you
Yeah.
ultimately you need to trust the people you're working with. And you need to
Mm-hmm.
be bringing people into your circle and into your company that are better than you at what they do, where they make you better at what you do. And it's really interesting because as I've been moving more and more into visionary, big
Mm-hmm.
relationships, culture driving, and not as
Yeah.
much into the daily operational thing. I'm working in my working genius, right? So I'm happy, I'm
Yeah.
engaged, and I mean, it's really funny because you will notice I will just finish this really engaging like conference and I'll get on a call on the way back that's like, I'll jump on a Zoom call and just listen to it on the way back, and it's about something operational. And
Mm-hmm.
like all my energy is just like sucked out of me because it's not the thing that lights me up. But the people on the
Yeah.
call are totally lit up by it. And so
Yep.
I think the untethering of that is like if you know you know what drives you, you know what excites you, you know where you should be if it energizes you.
Yeah.
And you've got to have
Exactly.
the right people around you helping you also feel the permission to go be that. Because I think a lot of my evolution in the companies, I felt this guilt. I mean, I never went on a vacation.
Yeah.
If I went on vacation, I checked in
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want anybody to feel like I wasn't there for them. I wasn't
Right.
supporting them. I wasn't in. I wasn't, and I was like, so I would jump in and
Mm-hmm.
save things and solve problems. And the truth is, as you learn as a leader, that's actually not helping your leadership team to go in and
Right.
solve the problem. What helps is to
Right.
be available, coaching, whatever, but to empower them to go solve the problem. And so
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of leaders, we just learn over time. And if you're lucky like me, you have wonderful people around you who help you learn, where you're not,
Mm-hmm.
they respect you and they also care about you and they like working with you and all those things. And they want you to become the visionary the
Mm-hmm.
company needs and they support you in getting there. But it is very easy as a founding owner to be absolutely tethered to your business in the way that you
Yeah.
started it, in the way that you think you owe it back to the company, almost like you don't have
Right.
a right to go do something
Hmm.
different.
Right.
And and so I don't know if that's answering your question, but it's like I have I have
Totally.
seen that evolve in me, and it's taken personal professional growth to get there, right?
Yeah.
And I think,
Absolutely.
that you have to be open to looking at who am I? Why am I stuck? Why do I insist on doing the same things? When what's best for the company is for me to do something else. And one of
Yeah.
the big things is you have to take your ego out.
Yes. Easier
You
said than
just
done. Yeah.
if
But yes.
if you're trying to run your business and you're trying to grow your business and you are ego based and it's
Yeah.
about me and, well, wait a
Hmm.
second, don't leave me behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
painful, right?
Or I already know, and I
Yeah.
already know how to do this, and why wouldn't we just do it the way I want to do it? And all those things that we have to be just as willing to be coached and
Yes.
consciousness and to have that conscious awareness that, yeah, we make decisions out of that ego
Right.
too, and
Right.
what's best for the business to grow.
Yeah.
Totally.
So do you feel like I got
Yeah,
that?
that's
Need
good.
anything else around that?
That's
Yeah.
really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for being here and just sharing your valuable perspective and your heart and, kind of shared experience with how you got to where you are. If anyone wants to engage, learn more about Fox and the amazing work that you all do, where can they learn more about you as an owner and your business?
So they can find us online at our
Yep.
website, which is foxpropertymgmt.com. So you can find us there. You'll see me there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see ways to click through and find us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the best way to see us, find us. You can always email me directly too, which is Jen at Fox Property. And, so that's Jen at foxpropertymgmt.com. Did you hear
Excellent.
that? I think we got a
Yep.
little
Yes.
work in there. But I think, and we're also located in Old Town Louisville, which is pretty central for the work that we do because we are in
Mm-hmm.
Denver, we're in Boulder County, we're along the I-25 corridor. And so we also love a drop-in. We have a lovely office and love to see people if they
Yeah,
want
you
in.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
come on, stop on in.
yeah.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for listening again, Jen. Thanks for being here and sharing your light with everybody. Everyone, will see you next time.